Well, Coach, we're just about midway through the season, and Western Michigan sitting with 8 wins after only winning 8 games last season. There's just been improvements in kind of every facet of the team. What stood out to you?
Well, I think it's from the outset of the season, and the outset would be the beginning of summer training. I think there was a greater sense of urgency, a stronger commitment made by the players to make sure that what happened last year did not happen here again. They came back and trained extremely hard. We're in the best condition that we've been since I've been here. We changed some of our training methodology. Tim Herman, implemented a number of new things in terms of our off-ice program. In terms of our play on the ice, we certainly added more skill to our lineup with the freshmen that came in this year, and I think there's been an emphasis on the part of our returning players to play with the puck a little bit more as well. So I think it's a combination of a lot of different things, but as in every situation, it comes down to the players and their commitment, their willingness to compete and battle every single night. So that's carried over from practice to games, and I think that's one of the reasons we've had a relatively positive start.
Where is there room for improvement for this team in the second half?
Well, I think there's always room for improvement. I mean, you're always looking for that best ever game, and you may have your best ever game one night. Well, you better have the next one the next night. And we talk a lot about the theme of better. When somebody asks our players how they feel or how's the day going, the idea is they're supposed to say better, because no matter how good yesterday was, we want today to be better. And that's exactly the way that we've approached it. I think in terms of our overall play, I think there's sometimes that our compete level needs to be higher. We've had some Friday nights recently that have not been as strong as our Saturday nights. And that sense of urgency, realizing that every shift is important, every puck's important, and we have to get after it all the time. So to me, it's more a matter of shift by shift compete.
Now, Minnesota, Duluth, and Denver have a bit of a lead, from the rest of the pack, but Western Michigan sits in third. How crucial was that win on Saturday, knowing that, you're going to go into the second half of the season sitting in third place in this league?
Well, I think, we're talking a lot about Denver and Minnesota, Duluth, and certainly they've deserved to be where they are at this time of the season. But when you've got a defending national champion in your league, I'd like to believe that to win your league, you've got to go through that team again. So for us to get that second game in North Dakota was huge for us. It was great in terms of going into the break right now with a win. It was also something that, North Dakota pushes you. Like, they're physical, they play hard all the time. We needed to play that kind of team and to compete with them. And I think certainly being successful in the way that we did it, basically playing the whole third period shorthanded and having to battle and block shots, I think it meant a lot to our team.
Now, after a couple-week break, we had to Joe Louis Arena and the Great Lakes Invitational, and you've kind of been on both ends there. You've been a hero, helping Western Michigan win the CCHA championship there, and then you've also been a villain there with your time with the Blues, obviously, and the Kings, and ruining the Red Wings playoff season one year. What does that venue mean to you? And as a hockey coach and just in general.
Well, you talk about the Joe and how special it is, and certainly to all our Michigan players, they grew up watching the GLI tournament following the Red Wings. It's exciting for them. And the question you asked was regarding my own personal situation. And one memory that comes to mind is that my first game coaching against Scotty Bowman, the legend, and I'm a first-year coach about 7 or 8 games into the season, and we're playing at the Joe, and Scotty's a noted matchup coach. He likes to match lines, and you'd put your line out, and he'd always try to match you. And during this game, Kerry Fraser was the referee, and I was being fairly slow in my changes, and Kerry came over and said, "Andy, would you hurry up with your changes here?" I said, "Kerry, do you realize that Scotty Bowman's waiting for me to change my lines? Would you let me enjoy it a little bit?" And he said, "I get it, Andy, but pick your changes up here a little bit." So a lot of special memories. He talked about us beating the Red Wings in the playoffs with the LA Kings, and some big wins there, some wins with the Blues as well. But you always knew you were going to play a great team, and the national anthem and everything, the way it's performed there was always special.